This seems like a good opportunity to mention a bit about the leg curl and why it's such an important exercise. Generally, I do prefer to use barbells and dumbbells and free weights over selectorized machines like a leg curl, but the leg curl is a bit of an outlier in that there isn't a great free weight alternative. To understand why this is, it can be helpful to understand a bit about what your hamstrings actually do. Your hamstrings have two main functions. They extend the hip and they flex the knee. Now, hip extension is a function that you can train with tons of different exercises. Squats, deadlifts, back extensions, RDLs, snatches, cleans, kettlebell swings, basically any lower body exercise where your feet are fixed or on the ground. So when training hip extension, we have plenty of options. Knee flexion is a different story. There are very, very few exercises that allow us to properly apply load when training knee flexion, that is, closing at the knee. Now, one of those few options is the Glute Ham Race, and it works just fine. Great even. It's an excellent exercise. The problem with these is that they're really hard. You already have to be quite strong to perform them properly. So where does that leave anybody that's just getting started? The analogy that I like to use is imagine if you wanted to train an overhead pulling motion, but the only exercise available was a pull-up. What if you can't do pull-ups? You can't just skip them. It's too important of a motor function, so we have to find an alternative. Same thing with knee flexion. That's where the leg curl comes in. It's the most accessible, most versatile exercise that you can use to properly train your hamstrings function as a knee flexor, and that's very important. If you don't train both ends of the spectrum, hip and knee, you end up either weak or lopsided or maybe even injured. I'm quite sure that that's why where just about every new client I start working with, their hamstrings are lagging behind. Now, you might be wondering about exercises like leg curls with a Swiss ball or holding a dumbbell between your ankles or maybe doing leg curls with a cable column. For now, I'll just say that those options are at best poor approximations and at worst even counterproductive depending on your training goal. And you're not likely to see those in your program here. Plus, leg curls are far more versatile. You can do single leg variants, you can change the foot position, do fun stuff like 2-for-1s. None of those options are available with a glute ham raise or really any of those other alternatives. So there you have it. Knee flexion is an important element of just about any program, and a well-engineered leg curl machine is the best way to train it. It keeps your knees healthy, it keeps your anterior and posterior sides balanced, and it supports a bunch of other exercise functions. So may they serve you well.